Ladies and gentlemen, and all university and higher institution students, today we are going to discuss the most profound elements of economic growth and stimulation for a country. That will help any student or anybody else to understand and differentiate the environment you are going to be involved in when you are at your workplace, on an interview, or you're given an induction on operational processes and procedures of the company you're going to work for. Understanding these aspects is of such cardinal importance as they make a person to understand the essence of the operational environment of his company, have an idea of what environmental challenges they are going to face, or how the company operates makes life so easy to adapt and adjust in the new environment. There's nothing difficult such as to have a first-hand encounter of an environment where you have no clue or idea of what is going on in any working environment. That is why for higher education students, at least some practical knowledge is essential and imperative in order to adapt quicker, in order for your presence to add value quicker and bring valuable progress and on processes that are undertaken in an enterprise. This concept that we are going to discuss are from my next book, which will be published shortly. But because they add value, they add impeccable knowledge and skills in any form of business management, I felt that due to the rapid evolving technology, we must discuss and include them to enhance technology and skills as they form part of the latest technological innovations. When analyzed and assessed efficiently and effectively, these elements contribute immensely to sustaining and stimulating the economic growth for a country. These elements I call structural economic development and strategic economic growth. Let's start with structural economic growth. The economy that operates structurally is when the economy is developing and growing as per structural manner, whereby all the undertaken processes are executed by certain structure only, and there are no deviations and changes that can take place other than the standards that are followed continuously as per the demand of the products until such time that there are no longer any products manufactured and demand for the product has elapsed. Remember, in business management, we often talk about product life cycle, where we speak about the launch phase, the growth phase, the mature phase, and the decline phase of the product. That is how the two are interacting, and they relate to one another. Because processes here are done structurally, according to set structures all the time. until there's no more demand for the product, or until the raw material has diminished. Like in case on mining, you can only mine so much, and then whenever there's nothing left on the ground, you move to another place, and then your process of doing things, it's always the same. You do the same procedure over and over again until you got no more minerals available underground. A good example is South Africa. South Africa, the economy grew because of mining minerals. And then by mining minerals, you always have to follow the same procedure until the minerals are declining. Like it is the case now in South Africa. That is why we facing economic challenges, because the minerals underground are declining gradually. So that's having a negative impact of the growth of the economy of the country. So that is why Johannesburg is better developed than any other town and cities in the country, because it is surrounded by a lot of mining. The same as Welkom in the Free State, it's better developed than Bethlehem or Kroonstad, because Kroonstad and Bethlehem do not have mines, so there's no economic growth. But also currently Welkom, the economy is declining drastically because there are very few minerals left underground. So this is what structural economic growth entails. But now let us go to strategic economic growth and stimulation. Strategic economic growth works completely and explicitly different from the structural economic growth. The economic growth strategy that is developed strategically is designed to be long-term based. It involves a lot of research. It includes a lot of technological and scientific approaches. It must be analytical. It must be creative. It must be innovative. And the process must all include employees on all aspects in order to attain and achieve optimal goals and objectives. This strategy emanated mainly from countries such as China and Japan. So, in this case, in strategic economic development, factors such as science, technology, research, and innovation are key and crucial, because often the product demand is perpetual, which means it is continuous. The demand for product manufactured under this concept, in most cases, the demand for them is continuous. It never ceases continuing. Companies that operate strategically are often companies that manufacture high-value products such as technologically machinery, motor vehicles that are technologically and scientific, and that are innovatively improved day by day. Other products that are manufactured strategically include cell phones, computers, electronic components, aircraft, ships, weaponry, and many more others. So these countries and continents, by using the strategic business approach, have a very successful economic growth strategy because of their economic growth approach, which is innovative. There's continued demand for products, which is perpetual demand approach. Which is a continuous demand pattern, and some uses the so-called terminating demand patterns, such as motor vehicle manufacturers, where the approach is such that the demand for product eventually ends at some point. This is often because a new replacement product has been developed and introduced to the market. For an example, a Golf 5 in a motor industry will never have the same features of a Golf 6 or a Golf 7, because Golf 6 and 7 are of the latest standard, and then they have better features compared to those of a Golf 5. An iPhone 15 Pro Max won't have the same features as the iPhone 10. That is why, in the case of the iPhone, when it was invented 10 years ago, the first unit, they say it sold billions of rands per year. But now, 10 years later, they have got about 20 units, different units, and they are selling many billions per day around the world. That is whereby strategical economic growth and stimulation plays such a pivotal role. So it is important. It plays such a pivotal role in creativity as a paramount role. So it is so important for us as a country to define the appropriate and suitable economic strategy to implement in terms of stimulation of the country's economic growth. As we can see how things are unfolding around the world lately in terms of economic growth and development, it is of cardinal importance for us as a country to manufacture our own product using the appropriate strategy that is long-term based, following the perpetual demand pattern, so that it is important for us as a country, to manufacture and develop our own product in an appropriate and strategic way, which will of course include creativity, analyticness, and many other aspects. As I always say, Chinese and Japan were never in a business environment or in industry for the past 60 years. They were doing farming, and then it never worked out so well for them because they didn't have enough land and so forth. But today they are the most developed countries in terms of manufacturing economic strategies in the world because of their belief in themselves and their appropriate national strategic inventions. And we are talking about a population of over 1.1 billion, but so unified as a nation, and the concepts and ideologies are also unified. This is why they are so successful. If one has seen the latest development in the road, the longest road that they developed that goes over the sea and has so many intersections over the sea, and they go through mountains, they go through tunnels, they go through everything. Then when the Western countries saw this, they thought it would take them 500 years to complete the project. But surprise, surprise, it took them only 3 years to complete the project. In my previous session, I did mention that economic strategies of the Chinese start with children at grade 3. And this is the impact of their economic growth strategy that is inclusive to kids as young as age of 9 or 10. So, yes, we as South African as well can do it. We must do it. It can only be done when it's finished. The success of your endeavors and everything can only be appreciated when they are completed. So therefore, we have to change our economic strategy of development. I thank you all.